y'all, it's me Alex. Today I'm doing a review and tutorials using the Midas Cosmetics Coffee Collection. This is what the three little mini palettes look like. There is a fourth one. The fourth one is all pressed glitter, so I did not get that one. I have the Decaf Chocolate Raspberry Eyeshadow Palette, which looks like this. I have the Green Tea Macchiato Palette, which looks like this. And then I have the Pumpkin Spice Latte Palette, which looks like this. Now, I had originally actually only ordered two of the three. I'd only ordered the chocolate raspberry and the green tea one because those were the two color schemes that appealed to me the most. When I had first got my order, I had gotten the decaf raspberry one and the pumpkin spice latte one, and I was like, hey, do I need to like return that one in order to get the green tea one? And they were like, no, just keep it, we'll send you a green tea one. And it was very sweet. So now I own all three. Well, three out of the four. That, like I said, don't want the fourth one because I don't like pressed glitters because I like being able to see. I don't need to add had vision obstructed by glitter onto my resume. I have never tried anything from Midas Cosmetics before. Their customer service was fantastic. I got these all shipped pretty quickly because I think they might be based out of like New York or Pennsylvania or something. I know they're pretty like close-ish to where I am. I'm in New Jersey. I am really impressed with their formula. I think that out of all of these three palettes, the formula is pretty consistent across the board. Like the mattes are extremely blendable. They are a little bit more on the dry side rather than the creamy side. So like they're not Anastasia Beverly Hills level, but they're maybe a little bit closer to the Viseart kind of mattes, if that makes sense. So they're a little bit drier but still very good quality, and the shimmers are really stunning. I just apply them with a finger. For this look I used a glitter glue, but that's because it's a cut crease. But I find the shimmers to be very impressive. The colors are very pigmented and my lighting is changing because life, but I think overall these are very good quality. And quite frankly, if you're trying to decide between the three of them, since the quality is about the same, the shadows are about the same, it's all basically what color scheme appeals to you. These are pretty inexpensive. They retail for $12, and there are also a lot of influencers who have codes with Midas Cosmetics. I know Smoky Glow does. I know Teresa is Dead has one. There's probably someone else that I know of that I can't think of right now that has one, but there are a lot of codes that are pretty easy to find that gets you like 20% off of these, so it's just a really good deal. Now, to rank these, my favorite is the Green Tea Macchiato palette, which if you know me and you know the color schemes that I like, this appeals to my soul because I love earth tones. I love a good mustardy yellow. I love a good teal. And I think that this color scheme, while it is a little bit neutral, it definitely adds a bit of a pop, especially the tealy green shade. Just really, it shows up quite nicely on the eyes and I love it. These shades, while they do look very different, they blend very nicely together, and I really appreciate that. Like, all of the looks I've gotten out of this one have been very good. My second favorite is actually, surprisingly, the Pumpkin Spice Latte palette, which is what I'm wearing on my eyes right now. And I like this because, honestly, if I hadn't gotten this one like on accident, I probably would have just picked it up anyway. I just wanted to try out the formula. And I really like this because I've surprisingly gotten a lot of good looks out of this. I really do love orange eyeshadows on myself because I think they're very flattering for brown eyes. And I think that while this is definitely in the warm tone neutral range, the shades do have enough depth in them that you can use this to get like different shapes of eyes. I've done like halo eyes, I've done cut creases, I've done just like your standard glam eye look, and they've all turned out like very unique looking, but you can all tell that I'm using this one, if that makes sense. So I really do like this one. And then my least favorite, well, you can guess it now because I only got three of them, is the Decaf Chocolate Raspberry palette. Now, it's not due to any sort of quality thing with this, but rather that I find the matte shadows are just very similar looking. While that definitely makes it blend very nicely together, it is not exactly the most conducive for getting a huge variety of eye looks out of this. So I love the colors because I love like pinky mauve-y eyeshadow. This is kind of what I would consider my own personal neutral color scheme because I think that those are kind of like a good standard for me. You just can't get quite as much variety out of this palette as you can the other two. It has nothing to do with quality, and I still really love this one. It's just all about, for me, the most use that I can get out of. So I think that is pretty much all I have to say about these palettes, because I know a lot of other people have done videos on this, have used these palettes on camera. So I think the best way for me to show you how these shadows perform is if we get into the 3 looks. I've done 1 look with each of them, so here we go. Okay, so for this look, I'm going to use the Green Tea Macchiato palette, which looks like this. Weirdly enough, I'm not a huge green tea person, but this color story is just... I'm gonna use some of the neutrals on top and then do this as like a little pop along my lower lash line. I'm going to begin with the shade Short, which is this nice little mustard here, and I'm gonna use that as my crease shade. And I'm gonna do kind of a halo-ish eye. So I'm gonna bring this into like the outer and inner corner. I don't know how much that's like actually gonna help, but we shall see, my friends. Like, we can always like begin it here and then, you know, just kind of move along. I also think that this shade would just make a lovely all over like monochromatic eye look, but I'm trying to use all 4 shades in each of the palettes, so we're just gonna go like this. Then I'm gonna go in with Barista and use that to deepen up the like halo portion of it. Like, I'm not gonna blend it as high as I did with the first shade, but I'm also gonna make sure that this look actually has like some depth and dimension. So I'm gonna stop explaining what I'm gonna do right now and just do it. And I'm basically using a smaller version of the Midas Cosmetics brush I was using before. This one is a little bit more precise, so I can do all of that deepening that I said I wanted to do. And I'm just going to go back over with the same brush that I used before to just make sure that the edges aren't like too terribly harsh or sharp. I've also made this eye like super wide, whereas this one like looks normal, so I'm gonna contend with that. Okay, now I'm gonna use the shade Crema, this shimmer, and I'm gonna plop that into my like center of my lid. I'm actually just gonna use this on my finger because I have been testing these out a little bit before I like came on camera, and I know that these shades look extra good when you apply them with a finger, and look at that. It's just like kind of bronzy and crunchy, and I really like that. And I'm just applying that very gently so you can see the sparkle, but it's also like not too much. And now I'm going to go in on my lower lash line. I'm going to use a shade Long here, that green, which is, if you couldn't guess, that is the shade that I'm most excited about from this palette. I may or may not have bought it just to try that shade. But I'm just going to use this little brush here, and I'm going to use that along my lower lash line. Now, this palette doesn't really come with any sort of inner corner highlight shade, which I'm perfectly fine with because I really love the little like curatedness of a quad. I am going to go in with my Milk Makeup Flex highlighter in Iced, which is just like this gold-ish shade, and I'm going to put that on my inner corner, and I hope that'll be a good like shade for that. Oh, yep, it is. Because I find this highlight to be very buildable, so I can use it in a subtle way that won't take away from the colors that I've already applied, but it also makes sure I don't look like I'm, you know, dying to self or anything of that nature. Okay, so that's basically it for the eyes. I'm gonna go do my mascara, the rest of my face, my lips, and all of that, and I'm gonna be right back. Okay, so this is the finished first look, which I really like. I really love these sorts of shades with my eye color. The lipstick that I'm wearing is Milani Matte Beauty, because when am I not wearing Matte Beauty by Milani? Okay, but anyway, this is the finished look using the Green Tea Macchiato palette. Okay, so for this look, I'm going to be using the Decaf Chocolate Raspberry palette, which looks like this. And I'm going to begin by taking the shade Whole Bean on a fluffy brush like this. This one came from some Anastasia Beverly Hills palette sometime somewhere. And anyway, I'm gonna put that in my crease as my transition shade. And as you can kind of see, I have kind of winged it out on both sides. This side is looking a little more intense than the other, but we're gonna work through it. Now I'm going to use a bit of Soy Milk, that shade right here, and use it to kind of deepen that up on a brush that is a little bit more precise. Now I'm going to take the shade Drip here, that nice shimmer, and I'm going to actually just take it on my finger and put that onto my lid, because just like, look at that shade. It's very, very beautiful. And then I'm going to take just a bit of Roasted here, the darkest shade, and use that for my outer corner. And I'm just like blending that into the wing. And I will clean that up, I promise. And I'm just gonna use that same brush to just blend out that crease. And now along my lower lash line, I'm just gonna use Soy Milk and just pop that all along there. I can pretty much guarantee that this one isn't going to be the most interesting eye look, because this one is a bit more monochromatic than the other palettes, but I really do love these tones. And then just to kind of clean up the brow bone on both sides, I'm going to take just a matte bone shade that doesn't come from that palette, and I'm going to use it like this, just kind of running it along up there, cleaning everything up. I'm especially running it over here where it didn't quite get blended to the best of my ability. And then I'm going to just take a little bit more of Soy Milk along the outside. Again, we're just cleaning everything up. And then for my inner corner highlight, I'm going to go into my ABH Sugar Glow Kit, and I'm going to just use the shade Starburst for my inner corner highlight. Okay, so this is the finished like eyeshadow. Now I'm gonna go in, I think I'm gonna do some wing liner, mascara, my face, my lips, and all of that. Okay, so this is the finished look. I put on some wing liner, my usual blush and highlight and all of that. The lipstick I'm wearing is Chai by Bite Beauty. And anyway, this is the finished look. And for the final look in this video, I'm going to be using the Pumpkin Spice Latte Quad, which is super orangey and cute, and I love it. So I'm going to begin with the shade Iced here, this like light orangey mac and cheese shade, and I'm gonna begin that as my transition shade. And I'm blending this up pretty far. Then I'm going to take a little bit more of a precise blending brush and use the shade Double Shot here to deepen that up. And that I'm also going to focus a little bit more in the outer corner. And then to deepen it up even more, because what else are we doing here but deepening things up, I'm going to use the shade Espresso. Espresso. Look at that. Look at that. Listen to that shade name. And I'm going to use a little bit more of a fluffier brush that has really kind of become detached from the life, the universe, and everything. And I'm going to use that to really get into the outer corner there. And I'm also going to just blend that into the inner part just so I can get as much depth as possible, because guess what, friends? We're doing a half cut crease today. And I'm just blending that upward. Now I'm going to use this e.l.f. glitter glue here, and it's upside down, so here you go again. And I'm going to take that on this little brush and make myself a cute little half cut crease there. Okay, so if you've never done a half cut crease with me before, I put it using a little brush as close to my lash line as possible. Then I look up and I just fill everything in. And I'm going to do the same on the other eye. Okay, so now I am going to start by just using my finger to apply the shade, and then I'm going to go in with a more precise brush when I have to get like the little crevices and the preciseness and all of that. So I'm going to use the one shimmer shade, Steamed. I'm going to just take that on my finger and pop that on my lid. Okay, and now it's time for me to go in with a more precise eyeshadow brush, so just something like this, using that same shade, and I'm gonna get it all like cute and cut creased. Okay, then I'm gonna just take a little bit more of Espresso and blend that on the outer corner, just to make everything a little bit more blended, because I can't think of a variety of words to use. And now for the lower lash line, I'm gonna go in with a little more double shot, and gonna put that on my lower lash line. The words, man. And then I'm gonna go in with more of Espresso to kind of get in with the lash line part. And since this one doesn't really come with an inner corner highlight, I'm just going to use my Milk Makeup Flex Highlighter in Iced, because I think that would go kind of decently. Okay, and now that my eyes are done, I'm gonna go in with my mascara, the rest of my face, lipstick, all of that good stuff. Okay, so the lipstick that I put on is Smog from Urban Decay. This is from one of their limited edition collections from many years ago. This may or may not have actually been safe to put on my face, but I really like how it looks with this look. So anyway, this is the finished third look. And that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe down below if you want to see more videos from me. And I will see y'all in my next one. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Bye.